Hi, this is Chris Young, and welcome to Good News on Tap for the 27th Sunday of Ordinary Time. If you look at today's first reading from Isaiah and look at the Gospel, it seems that Jesus is telling a slightly different version of the same story. In the first reading, Isaiah tells us a story about his friend's vineyard. The friend did everything possible to prepare the vineyard to make choice wine. He cleared the land, planted the seed, tilled the soil, built a watchtower, prepared the winepress, and so on. But what ended up growing there was not the good grapes that would make choice wine, but it was wild grapes that would make sour wine. Isaiah then explains this parable by saying that the vineyard is the house of Israel. God has given it everything it needs to produce good fruit, but it's failed. The people are the plants that are not producing as they should. Isaiah warns them that God will destroy the vineyard if they don't produce good fruit. Jesus starts out the same way in his parable, but he provides us with a little detail. In this version, the tenants of the vineyard are the people. And he tells us about how the tenants of the vineyard rejected the servants of the master who came for the harvest. The servants that he's talking about are the prophets like Isaiah, who were sent by God to oversee the tenants and made sure that they would do what they were supposed to do, who made sure that they were producing good fruit for the harvest. The prophets of the Old Testament were treated terribly, and many were killed, just like in the parable where the servants were similarly killed. Finally, the master sends his son, who we know to be Jesus, of course, and they killed him as well. Now, it would be easy for us to look at this parable and think that it was only addressed towards the chosen people of the Old Testament. It would be easy to say that it doesn't apply to us, because we've accepted the prophets. We've accepted Jesus. But have we really? Are we really producing the good fruit that we're supposed to be producing? And that which we have produced, are we giving back to the Master who put us in charge of his affairs? Or are we hoarding it all for ourselves? 2 weeks ago we had the story of the workers, some of whom worked all day, and some of whom worked only part of the day, but were paid the same. Naturally, those who worked all day felt it was unfair that those who worked part of the day received a full day's wages. It felt unfair because the latecomers had not really earned their wages. In our reflection 2 weeks ago, we came to the conclusion that those who worked all day didn't really understand what a gift it was that they had employment at all. They were not thankful for the opportunity they had. So they were ready to take their money and run, and then grumble that they didn't get more. We run the risk of being like the people in the Old Testament. We've been given a gift, and we're called to be God's modern-day prophets. We've been called to proclaim the good news. We've been entrusted with the gospel message, and we've been given everything we need to spread that gospel and to make it grow and to bear good fruit in others. But if we're going to selfishly keep the good news to ourselves and not make it grow and not make it bear more fruit and not give back to God a portion of the gifts we've been given, then we're no better than those who killed the prophets and who killed Jesus. We're no better than the people in the parable. The church today is just as much a vineyard of the Lord as it was in the Old Testament, where it says, Israel is the vineyard of the Lord. We've been entrusted with its care, and if we take good care of it, our rewards will be beyond belief. But we've got to do the work that's been entrusted to us. And that's Good News on Tap for the 27th Sunday of Ordinary Time.